The African Transformation Movement, ATM, has announced a growing alliance with the Umkhonto we Sizwe Party, a political move that could reshape the contours of South Africa's opposition bloc ahead of the 2026 local government elections. While both parties have been adamant that no formal merger is on the cards, their collaboration in upcoming by-elections and shared parliamentary platforms under the so-called Progressive Caucus signals a strategic alignment. But with the MK party mired in internal tensions and ATM members expressing fears of being politically subsumed, questions remain. Is this a move toward black political unity or a high-stakes gamble for relevance? Joining us is Zama Ntshona, ATM spokesperson. Zama, thanks for your time. Good to speak to you. Now, the modalities of collaboration remain unclear. What specific joint actions can voters expect in the 2026 elections?
Thank you so much. For starters, I think it is proper for us as the African Transformation Movement to frame the conversation. The conversation is premised truly on the Progressive Caucus. When the people of this country voted in the way that we know in 2024, which led to the government of national unity, and those who were not in line, which are the likes of MK, ATM, EFF, NCC, and Utah, we were of the view that we need to have more leftist and African-based agenda to actually move forward. So as the African Transformation Movement and Umkhonto we Sizwe Party, we looked into what we already have and existing within Parliament, and we thought it was important that it must not only happen within the precinct. It is imperative that the people who lead us we represent them in Parliament, but they do not live in Parliament. This movement must be found in every VD, every ward, and every municipality if we are to actually speak to the realization of the ideals of the people of this country. So it's a necessary partnership moving to 2026. Truly, the modalities at this stage, the top 7 from both sides, is seating. There was a meeting which was held last week in trying to see the modalities and closely refine the collaboration. But truly so, we are not yet at that stage where we could say there is a merger, or for now, it is a collaboration. So the voters of this country must expect a collaboration between the two political parties towards the realization of the ideal of those who were previously marginalized.
Now, Zama, with the MK securing 14% of the vote versus ATM's 0.4%, how will ATM ensure it's an equal partner and not a junior ally? Zama, are you there? Okay, we seem to have lost Zama Ntshona. ATM's. Zama, I hope you can hear me. If you can, my next question was around you secured, or the MK rather, secured 14% of the vote, ATM 0.4%. How will ATM ensure it's an equal partner and not a junior ally?
It is imperative that we actually finalize such engagement. This is why a team led by the Secretary General of the ATM, Seven Kukula, and also the Secretary General of the MK, or Comrade Floyd, are actually leading these teams to be able to find a balance between that. When you listen to the leaders, already, if you listen to the president of Umkhonto we Sizwe, the president of the ATM, and the chief apostle of the TACC, who's the spiritual head of the ATM, they are speaking to the issue of equal partnership. As the definition and the fine print that goes with that, it is what both teams are now embarking on. But what is important that we have seen already is that both parties, there is mutual respect for the role that we play in representing the people of this country. When you look at both parties at this stage, you see that both parties are keen to see to it that we are able to find each other. If there is one thing that the 2024 elections has taught us, is that there is, at this stage, as according to the mandate of the voters, no one political party that will be able to deal with the governance issues of this country, collaborate deliberations are going to be important. This is why it is important that we do not wait for the voting season for us to try and find each other. We find each other early so that by the time we get to a voting stage, we have actually fine-tuned the modalities of the relationship that we're going to have moving forward. But it is imperative that the people of this country must be prioritized and they must be given a government that will fully represent them and especially be able to take strategic sectors, especially when you get to 2029, strategic sectors of the economy, deal with the land question, deal with the high unemployment rate, deal with economic growth, also deal with the issue of alignment between the East and the West, as currently there is truly a challenge when you look at the global village.
Now, MK has faced public infighting. What safeguards does ATM have to prevent instability affecting these operations? I mean, is this a concern for you practically?
When you enter in any relationship of this nature, the issue of stability is an important aspect to look into. But as the African Transformation Movement and on the basis of the relationship that we have in Parliament, we have seen that the center is holding. Now, the challenges of contestation which are happening in the peripherals or that are happening in the various wards and provinces, we believe that there is a way that the center that is holding in Parliament can actually find expression going to the various wards and the various regions in the country. Also, you would understand that Umkhonto weSizwe is just about a year or so old. So there is bound to be, and though a year old, but was able to muscle over 2 million votes with other votes being contested. So within a short space of time, it is a usual phenomenon that the finding of members, the understanding of the prescripts from law to ideology, it's going to take a bit of time. But one cannot ignore that the people of this country, over 2 million of them said, we believe that this is a vehicle that could actually move us towards the right direction. And remember that it is a government of the people, for the people, by the people. And if the people say this is the direction we want to see, the leaders must find each other so that we are able to move forward, so that we create a conducive environment so that the will of the people may find expression in the politics of this country holistically.
Is this the will of the people that are supporting ATM? I mean, how do you respond to claims that this alliance risks alienating your own base, given MK's controversial reputation? And you've talked to issues around values, principles, and what it is that your party stands for.
Well, there's a lot in common between the ATM and the MK. When you look at the issue, the land question, you wouldn't have a problem between the two political parties when it comes to how do we go about with the land question. When it comes to the recognition of African royalty, we are on the same path. When it comes to the inclusion of sectors of society, which also include faith groups in the decision-making of this country, we are finding each other with ease. When it comes to issues of protection of the borders of this country, the ring fencing of the microeconomic space, the prioritization of South Africans, I can go on and on. We are on the same par as far as a number of issues are concerned. Now, if you have an overwhelming number of similar ideologies or or policies, the chances of being able to use what is common and in the majority to find each other with what we are not in agreement with, we feel as the African Transformation Movement gives us a probability factor that is quite high that we may be able to find each other. And also best practices. Both political parties are able now to say, how have you been doing this? How can we use that so that we're able to maintain whatever achievements that you've been able to achieve in this? And also take into cognizance that Though MK is a year old, but the experience that you find within MK is not 1 year old. So these also contribute to these positives that we believe that any matured individuals who prioritize the struggle of the downtrodden and those who were finding themselves in the outskirts of participation would be able to when appealed upon, to actually go in and be able to use political consciousness and their devotion to the people to actually find each other. So for now, we believe that it is not all bad. We believe that the good outweigh the bad, and we believe that we can find each other and be able to deal with the challenges that are found within each of the political organizations.
Zama Ntshona is the ATM spokesperson, and he's speaking to us about the new alliance between the ATM and the MK party, and argues that the ATM will not be swallowed in that alliance as there is a common good.